And I can see a troll vote happening where people troll and put in Joe Rogan as the
Joe Byron.
Yeah, as the president, and then he's winning states now. And now we got an actual issue here. Joe Rogan, I can see, what's that guy's name? I think his name is Knight from CNN, who does the big board. I can see him going to the big board and being like, Joe Rogan just won Florida. And us being like, what is going on right now? Yeah.
The Joe Rogan experience. We're all about to have it.
Yeah. All right, welcome back to Relative Conscious. My name is Thomas Brown.
Irvin Bryant.
Shout out to DJ for making our beat.
At DW Made That on social media.
Follow social media.
At Kinda Woke on Instagram and Twitter. Relatively Conscious everywhere else. Go ahead and like, subscribe, follow, share, comment, retweet, quote tweet, and let us know your own hot takes, unpopular opinions, and burning questions.
Yes, this is Unpopular Opinions. I got the idea from my Ask Reddit page, however, Ask Reddit would do Unpopular Opinions. They'd be like, I think black people are just lazy. And I'm like,
that's not an unpopular opinion. You're just racist.
You're just racist. Chill out. Yeah. Anyway, so let's do 538, basically. And they were talking about Donald Trump in the horse race for the Republican nomination in 2024. Many Republicans want him to still run. And they're talking about the people are really, the everyday average person has contradictory political beliefs. So they could want less taxes, but more welfare.
Right.
That makes no sense. Less wars, but they want us to also be strong, militarily.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
I say it all the time.
Yeah. And so the question becomes what if the average voter is just always we're stupid, uninformed, doesn't have the time to be informed, they have other stuff going on, then I start asking the question about, well, the reason we had the Electoral College, the reason why Thomas Jefferson or Madison wrote about it was that there was a belief that the average person wouldn't have the time to be informed politically enough to make a decision as important as electing a president. And so therefore, you would need a stop valve, a safety switch, basically. Some elites who would, in the face of the public electing a demigod, a clown, would step in and save the nation from itself. That was the idea of Electoral College. Is that a crazy idea? I understand why James Madison would say that. Everything
yes,
you've
it
seen.
Is crazy.
You say it is crazy?
Okay, here's why that opinion is unpopular. I don't believe that the Electoral College is bad. I'm not on the abolish the Electoral College train, but I will say this. To have it entirely unleashed from the popular vote is crazy, stupid bad, because we already have American corruption in lobbying, other corporate interests, characters like Trump even being in politics. We got a lot of privately rich individuals and or career politicians. That's a different side of corruption. All these different ways you can be corrupt. Electoral College is not impervious to that, to those temptations. And so if it's unleashed from the popular vote, even if they don't swing it the difference is night and day. Like the popular choice is overwhelmingly for column A, and then the Electoral College is overwhelmingly for B. Even if they just inch it over the line from 49 points to 51 points to change it into a majority for candidate B, their ability to just do that on a whim, it's not based on the map. It's not based on representation. It's not based on any kind of numbers that we influenced as the voting populace, just on their wisdom. Nah. American government is bankrupt on wisdom. I don't trust them. Well,
in the history, they've never done it. Well, actually, it's two instances I want to say. One is the Hayes-Tillman compromise. Is it Hayes-Tillman?
Yes, yeah, that wasn't in the Electoral College, but yes, it was the government making a decision, and it was bad.
Yeah, that was bad. And I'm trying to think of another one.
There is another one. I can't think of it either.
I think it was early, between Jefferson and Madison time. Jefferson and Adams, I want to say, but I'm blanking on my political history.
I know
But
what you're talking about. I know what you're
yeah.
talking about.
Anyway, most of the time they never did that because most of the time it never came down to that, right?
Right.
But I feel like we need something to stop us from electing somebody crazy. Like the fact that there wasn't like a nobody could stop us from electing Donald Trump. But that just
Okay, but look at what happened. Okay, we elected Donald Trump. He clowned. It was wild. 2020, one for the books in the worst way. But we still here. We rocking. We back on track. Okay.
Are we?
Okay. We are riding the train. It went off the rails. It tipped over, ran over a couple homes. But we are now in the process of jacking up the train and getting it back on the wheels, and then maybe we'll scoot it over to the tracks.
Yes.
But we still got a train though. Okay. And the overwhelming response. I mean, I imagine you're thinking it could be worse than Donald Trump, right?
Yes.
Presidential candidate goes. And we had a guttural reaction. The country did, and we said, you know what? We had the usual thing where it's the lesser of two evils, the two bad choices, Chinese to two turds, and still we're like, pretty seriously, I want Biden because I can't do that guy anymore. The country says that.
True.
So I'm saying, in the worst case in recent history, we can correct that. We can correct a misstep. That's the whole Democratic thing. Term limits are real. It's the whole point.
I really question because I feel like all the other ways to stop corruption don't work. So like a party will never, as we've seen, never vote to impeach and remove their own president, right? Which is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you can never get a president impeached and removed, then he can never be removed. He can get into power and do whatever he wants. So if he wants to go to all-out war with China, he can.
But you won't give him a chance, though.
No, because what if Harambe won? Like, I'm dead serious. Like this, that opened up the floodgates for anything to be possible. What if Martin Taylor Greene became president? Like, we not need something to stop something from happening?
A coup d'etat.
But that's worse. That's worse. The Electoral College being written into the Constitution seems to be what they were worried about. That's what they said in their papers. What they said they're worried about. The people could elect somebody crazy. We do need something to stop that from happening.
Okay, but so I prefer the insider bad choice, the elite bad choice, to the outsider, the yeoman, the common man's bad choice.
I guess, yeah.
See, I'm not with that. I can't do that.
What was you so okay? But also, Electoral College.
I mean, let's at least do the democratic principle thing. And I believe in that that ideal.
But Electoral College can only vote for who's on the ballot. So
I'm saying, like, they can. I see what you. But also, the primaries and caucuses are heavily politically influenced by the party anyway. So like it's still very much an insider conversation.
Because Donald Trump was not liked by anybody in his party at all. Nobody wanted him to be the every elite did not want him to be the
well, you do have two very different parties doing different things.
I mean, there's still the primary system is still the same between the two, and he kept winning off of popular votes in each state, and every time the candidates would join together. Ted Cruz,
but we know like Hillary Clinton did some stuff, and the former chair of the Democratic Party did some stuff, and some CNN people did some stuff. Yeah. So I mean, it occurred at least. If it's not a make or break decisions, if it didn't tip the scale, it did occur, and people have done and can do worse. What's Nixon's first name? Richard, Jesus Christ. Tricky Dick, yeah. Richard Nixon. People can do a lot to have that influence, whether it be wholesale theft or just doing some backdoor deals, some conversations, some emails. Regardless, if I know that I have electoral college at the end and just get my guy, like if I've already got this deal at the highest level, now all I have to do is do the lower levels to make sure my guy gets to the destination where they can hoist him up to the Oval Office. You better believe. I'm doing more than having some CNN guys sneak me the letters and sneak me the questions beforehand.
I don't know. Also, the electoral college would mean that you have to have the entire electoral college. Would be elites from Texas, more like a Republican.
Well, I had to play the map like you do now, right?
Yeah.
So like I need to buy, quote unquote, or whatever. I need corrupt electoral college members from swing states because I already know I got Texas if I'm a Republican. I already know I got California if I'm a Democrat.
Right.
So, I'm gonna play the game.
I could see the problem there. That's why it's unpopular opinion, because why it's also have bait. But I also feel like it's concerning. I sometimes, if I was thinking about the things that could worse things could happen, it's concerning to me that's something that could happen. That you could have a candidate who's completely not ready to be president, but says the right things, get elected president. Like, would the Grand Wizard of the KKK really lose?
I don't think anybody's. That's the crazy part. Donald Trump really proved that, like, with the right message, it can for real be anybody.
Yeah, that's my problem. That's like
really that is an absolute truth now. There's nothing too low for the American people.
So you can say Jewish people with lasers are from the sky are trying to kill people, and no one's gonna say have a problem with that. You can say I think school shooters should still be allowed to own weapons. No one's got a problem with that. I think this appointed judge by a Republican is racist because he's Mexican. No one's got a problem with that. That's Donald Trump said that.
Okay, but what happens when the Electoral College says the people are choosing someone who's gonna change the game, a turning point, pivotal president, a Teddy Roosevelt, if you will.
Okay, yeah, Teddy Roosevelt. That's more, yeah.
That's and it's too much money. He's trying to break up monopoly. Are you serious? not on my watch, bro. Break up. Just throwing a name out there. Disney? Are you serious? AT&T? You got to be joking. Meta? No.
Yeah.
It'll never happen, bro.
That is the interesting question. There is what happened if it was on the other side of the spectrum when it's a Democrat socialist candidate, I guess, who's really trying to.
That's just a responsible president. Because a lot of presidents get in trouble for promises they don't make because they people really want whatever ideal thing, let's say Guantanamo Bay, to close.
Right.
And then it's like, no, not gonna happen. The insiders like this, it's genuinely never going to happen. You can say that all you want.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got elected, but nah, it's not gonna happen. And then that guy comes along who everybody believes like, oh, he's gonna actually close Guantanamo Bay, like straight up, it's gone. They're not gonna have it, bro. I'm not gonna have it.
That's interesting. Second thing, my second unpopular opinion.
Yes.
We should go back to backdoor conventions to where so the convention back in the day used to be a 5-day event where everybody from the party, well, you have local party members, right? So if you're the Houston chapter, you would have like maybe 5 chapters in Houston, 3rd Ward, 4th Ward, 4th Ward, 2nd Ward. They would choose who they want to represent. They would go to the national city party. They would choose the regional, all that, right? All your party members go to Chicago, whatever it is, for the Democratic National Convention. And there they argue and try to figure out who they want to be the candidate. So instead of voting in every place, instead of voting in New Hampshire, Iowa, South Carolina, and Las Vegas, or Nevada, you do one big primary at one spot where people vote, give speeches, vote again, and states decide who to give their delegates to, right? I think that's probably a good idea to go back to that. Because that type of convention, I don't think Donald Trump gets a nomination.
Why not?
Because he doesn't have the what's called. He doesn't have it takes a long time to build the relationships it takes to get Arkansas to give you the delegates. What's in it for me type of deal, basically. Party elites look out for their careers, and so therefore, because of ambition, you're not going to walk over me and my party, my section of my delegates, right? People who've been there for a long time, more wisdom, more say in the matter. And instead of somebody who's just, I like Trump's gusto, somebody's been Republican for years, who cares about the Republican Party, who's there trying to decide who they want to be the candidate.
When you say they're backdoor, are the things that are being said in these meetings, primaries, are they public record?
Oh yeah, you can watch the last one they had like this would have been a 1968 convention. Yeah, that's public record, and the riot that was going on outside is public record. Both of those things.
Okay, I know Shema.
Yeah, so that was the last one they had like that, because the next one was in 72 where they tried to do an actual primary, basically. Didn't go well. 74 was the actual real primary, and Jimmy Carter wins the first actual real primary. But 68 would have been the last one, and most of it is all public record. And it was aired live on PBS. Actually, back then they used to air all of it, the floor activity, on the 3 news channels, basically.
Yeah.
And so on ABC, you would watch a live stream, well, not live stream, previously recorded stream of what happened on the floor.
A broadcast.
Broadcast, yeah. The highlights of the day, basically.
Yeah.
There's in 1968, I want to say, is that 68 or was that 64? There's a black woman who gets up and gives a speech about not being seated. She's a black woman from the South who's trying to get seated in the Democratic Party. And she's like, the Southern Democrats, who are Dixie Democrats, don't want to see us Black Democrats, and there's a whole fight about it, there's arguing back and forth. They finally get the seat, basically. All public record. And so you see how the sausage is made, how Lyndon Baines Johnson wins the primary, how, Ronald Reagan becomes the primary, almost wins the primary, snatches out a 410. And so it's all public record. That to me seems to be a better idea than us almost having Pete Buttigieg as president.
I'm not gonna lie, I agree. I was trying to be like, oh, what about this? What about that? That's not bad. The public records part is key. The transparency is key, because the way that your state representatives behave there has to be checked. Because I know Ted Cruz would get up there and say that Texans wants XYZ and we don't.
Yeah.
Or Ken Paxton or Greg Abbott, or a whole hodgepodge of Texas Republican leaders who are acting a fool right now as they disenfranchise with the voting maps the minorities who have been the major growth in the state over the past few years. So don't trust them, but of course, if they're accountable, then it's a better situation.
Yes, the question would be: will Barack Obama still have become the president if the Democrat had a closed convention in 2008, or would they given to Hillary Clinton?
Right, and that's the part, because it was only the primaries that put him over. He wasn't the man. I mean, he was the man, obviously.
Yeah,
but I mean, politically speaking, he wasn't the front runner. They had him behind Huckabee. That's hilarious.
Not Huckabee. You mean?
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
Edwards. John Edwards.
No. Oh my gosh. What is his name? Regardless, they had Obama. He was the loser until the people chose him.
Yeah.
And then he was the golden boy.
Well, I don't remember this, but they had before the voting started.
And could he not? Like, I mean, he's a
yeah. I think politically he could have broken the deals. I think Hillary Clinton rubbed enough people the wrong way to where it would have been a problem. There would have been questions about whether I was misogynistic in nature. It's it'd have been interesting. It'd have been a fight. I don't know if you remember the last 3, like I was saying, was John Edwards, Hillary Clinton, and Barack Obama. John Edwards lost because he had a whole scandal, and so that all came out. But the question was, did Democrat at least know about this? Because he would bring the mistress around, and did they just ignore it, basically? So that'd be interesting. Bill Clinton also same way. Everyone knew Bill Clinton was cheating on his wife. That's what's hilarious to me. the more you read about the scandal, Mr. Bill, you need to leave her alone because we got to go to this meeting right now. Yeah, like him and Lewinsky be kissing in a closet, and they're gonna knock on the door and be like, "Hey, Mr. Bill Clinton, you have a presidential meeting right now, so
Mr. Bill Clinton, Mr. President,
can you leave the intern alone for a second and straighten up and please get out the closet?" Yeah. I think that's I think that's a better way to run it than we're running now. Because the second question would have been, what about Bernie Sanders? What about the progressive wing of the party? Would they have any power if it wasn't for the people voting them in?
I mean, they don't have any power now.
They will argue
that likes them.
They get elected to political office, though.
They have offices, and they still have, your Senate, state, House of Representatives, whatever. But they're not the president. They're not a candidate.
Yeah,
in either system. And I mean, that does, it puts a new, just like the Electoral College and the status quo, it puts a new geographical hold on things where, like, in sheer numbers, the country may want XYZ, but geographically speaking, the entirety of the country doesn't. The rural Democrats who, they're not hype on war. They want to take their vaccines. They believe in progressive stuff for the poor people, et cetera, restorative justice, whatever. But they don't want to abolish the police. Where meanwhile in New York, abolish the police is the catchphrase. Yeah, it's like, this system saves my Democrats from Arkansas or whatever, like your system that you're proposing. So as opposed to, does it? That's a question. Because the Democrat there does want to appeal to them, though. Yeah, so still the popular vote isn't the best thing.
Well, I will argue that some of the, like, Democrat, at least like Austin, would they not mess around and put their vote behind AOC because they want that? Democrats
in Austin are wild. Austin, the capital of Texas, and their values don't represent Democrats across the state of Texas. That is true. I feel like they'd be swift. There'd be swift justice, though the Democrat community, right, the political community around that city is that way. Representatives from across the state, convene at the Capitol to do their job, right, and will chastise as quickly as possible whoever makes that decision, because they got people to represent.
Yeah, and then you have it's falling out. It's all for the record. So anyway, my two half-baked ideas, unpopular opinions. One, may bring the Electoral College back because I believe we cannot trust the people. I can see a troll vote happening where people troll and put in Joe Rogan as
Joe Byron,
as the president, and then he's winning states now, and now we got to have an actual issue here. Joe Rogan, like, I can see, what's that guy's name from? I think his name is Knight from CNN, who does a big board and on CNN with Blitzer. I forgot his guy's name.
White hair.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can see him going to the big board and being like, Joe Rogan just won Florida, and us being like, what is going on right now? Yeah,
the Joe Rogan experience. We're all about to have it.
Yeah, and I think the better version of that is that we have a stop valve. The Electoral College is like, look, man, y'all crazy. We're not supposed to do this with y'all. We're gonna put somebody else in, And also, I think the backdoor, old-fashioned convention works better, but you have to. It works better because I think more people get what they want, And so you have to have a candidate who can appeal to everybody. I think in that system, Joe Biden still wins. In that old-fashioned system, I think Joe Biden still wins. In 2016, I don't know if Hillary Clinton wins. I think somebody else steps up. I think we found out there's too much strife, so people don't want it. And someone else said they had to step up and find somebody else to do it, basically. Now, who that is, I don't know. It could be a guy named Cuomo because the Cuomo from New York at that time wasn't good standing. So he could have been the guy. So would have been very interesting. But anyway, those are my half-baked ideas. My name is Thomas Brown.
Irvin Bryant.
Peace.
Do it to him,